We have just entered into the crypto summer, an 18-month spell where we're going to be heading towards the upside, according to Raoul Pal and this chart. And that's why I'm buying 3 coins in May that I foresee some of the biggest and most exciting potential you need to know about. In this video, I'm going to talk about all of that good stuff. So hit that like button and let's get on with it. Now guys, jumping first of all over to Twitter, before we find out what those coins are, this is really important. Now, I've just shared this post from Raoul Pal, which is probably one of the most important Twitter threads I've read recently. Now, Raoul Pal's been talking about the liquidity cycle and how it impacts crypto over the last few years, and ever since I discovered it in the bear market in 2022, it guided me to pretty much buy the exact bottom of the market, and so far has helped me to be cool, calm, and anticipate pretty much all the moves that we go through the market. He basically states that there's a global liquidity cycle that originally got reset in 2008 after the financial crisis. And this cycle runs every 4 years, pretty much in line with the bull market. So forget that halving BS. It's completely irrelevant. This is what we need to pay attention to. And you can see this black line of global liquidity basically drives the NASDAQ and Bitcoin. Bitcoin actually, as you can see, rolls slightly ahead in terms of price action than the liquidity cycle. Therefore, you can roughly anticipate when Bitcoin is likely to see a top and when we should be taking profits. Therefore, you no longer need to ask me in the comments when I'm going to be making videos about taking profits. Just look at the global liquidity cycle and then you know when I'm going to make that video. Anyway, simply, this is the one we need to pay attention to because we've just exited the green bit and entering into the yellow bit. And if you look at the chart throughout the history of Bitcoin, which is 2008, weirdly, around the time that this all got reset, you can see that the yellow phase is usually a very aggressive growth phase because it's the crypto summer, followed by the crypto autumn, or if you're American, the crypto fall. And as you can see, that means that we have pretty much until sort of mid-2025 of some pretty exciting growth, which is good news. And since looking at Bitcoin, which has pulled back recently and is now following the Wyckoff absolutely perfectly, is now in the LPS phase, it means that we literally have days before the next phase kicks in, where we're going to move up to the SOS bit and then on to phase E, which is the explosive growth phase. So if you were waiting for a quiet summer where you didn't have to look at my face every day telling you what's going on in crypto, unfortunately you were wrong. I've been chilling out over the last couple of weeks when nothing has been happening, and now we need to get things going. Okay, so if Bitcoin's moving, we need to know what else is going to be moving right now. Well, it's pretty damn obvious. Unless you've been sleeping under a rock or not subscribed to the House of Crypto, which is pretty much the same thing, you'll know that I like to follow narratives, and there are key narratives that will definitely run hot in this bull market. Now guys, I'm going to cover 3 coins in this video in 3 key narratives, and that doesn't mean that I've completely forgotten about all the other coins that I've talked about recently, so don't panic. But I don't want to go over all of the coins in this video because you've got better things to do than listen to me for 4 hours talking about each individual coin. Now narratives, key narratives, AI. Obviously, okay, ChatGPT is exploding. The demand for AI is going absolutely crazy, both on-chain and off-chain. Pretty much every company right now is trying to use AI. It's being used in farming. It's being used in manufacturing. It's being used in gaming. It's being used in everything, okay? And if you're using ChatGPT or Claude on a daily basis, you're also using that too. Now, things that also need to support AI, like deep-in, compute, and storage. And I've actually got an absolute banger of a coin that fits into that narrative, and also real-world assets, okay? And I'll tell you why in a moment. But there are obviously others out there that I'm not going to cover in this video, like gaming. DeFi has its place, layer 2s, layer 1s, blah, 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 okay? We'll get round to those in future videos, so make sure you're subscribed. So where to go first? Well, you've probably heard of large language models, okay? Such as ChatGPT and whatever, which basically has lots of information. It regurgitates these glorious answers to you that make you think, I'm never going to have to do my homework again, or I'm never going to have to apply for a job or write a cover letter myself because this large language model will do something for me, which is great, okay? But the future beyond that is the AI agent. The AI agent is basically something that has all this information and now can work on your behalf. So not only can it write your cover letter, but now it can do all your work for you, which is pretty cool. Various news articles like this one from Wired.com, you'll see that startups and tech giants are trying to move from chatbots, which offer help via text, and then move towards AI agents that can get stuff done. Okay, recent demos include AI coder called Devin and various agents that can play video games. So agents can be used within video games to improve gameplay and things like that. If you've been playing like Call of Duty and you like playing online, you'll be able to play against little like robots that learn how you behave and how to play and how to improve your gameplay. You could think of various like accounting tasks that could be carried out by AI agents, various things within sort of research, and all sorts of different ways in which it can get utilized. And some of these projects I'm going to talk about today, I've definitely talked about before, but I'm talking about them specifically today because they pull back into decent areas that might be worth buying at. And obviously, I'm not a financial advisor. You need to do your own research. AI-powered open world framework, Delesium, code Ticker, AGI caught a lot of attention during that hot AI phase, which is now starting to pick up again. Now, Delesium basically is a suite of different AI agents that can be utilized to create various different things. You create your AI twin, basically have someone like you who can kind of carry out different tasks for you. That might be something like, go and buy me this crypto coin, and then it's going to go and find the best rate and create that transaction. It can use simple language. They've also created this AI-powered Web3 operating system called Lucy, so you can basically chat to it, and you can ask it to go and do different things for you in crypto without having to figure out how to use this wallet or that wallet or how to carry out this transaction. And this is very cool. As into the future, they're going to create various different AI agents for various different tasks. So why AGI over others? Well, guys, we originally brought you AGI on the channel back here at 0.036. And you can see at the moment, it's now a 10x bigger than that. Unfortunately, you're a little bit late for some coins in crypto. But by being late, it may have helped you out a bit, because you can see that Delesium ran very, very hot. From February up until kind of early March, it did basically a 12x. Fortunately, though, it's pulled back into this buy zone. It did like a 77% dip. What you can see that is very key, as Bitcoin starts to wake up, you can see that AGI is perfectly following that boom in Bitcoin, okay? It's starting to put in this pattern, a flat top, and you can see higher lows. This is an ascending triangle. And if you're lucky enough to catch this video early enough, you're going to be able to get in before this breakout, okay? In my personal opinion. And that could be very, very exciting. Obviously, the purple box is perfect buy zone territory. And, you know, if Bitcoin sells off or something bad happens, then, you know, we might get a push back into this zone. But remember Raoul Pal. Make sure you go to my Twitter, follow me on Twitter, and check out that thread from Raoul Pal, because it's going to set your mind at ease about buying into crypto right this second, because a lot of the key narratives are going to see really good growth. Now, from this kind of pullback, bearing in mind where we are in this bull market and the potential that this has, Delesium sits in a kind of a perfect market cap zone for me. It's $240 million market cap. At $250 million, there's huge potential upside still for this project, but with a lowering amount of risk. The volume is also significant, given the market cap, and there's no real reason why we can't see this hitting into the multiple billions of dollars during the bull market, because a 4x would take us to $1 billion, and then if we could push towards $5 to $10 billion, we're looking at a 20 to 40x, which if we paid attention in the last bull market, is really not that difficult for hot coins in the right narratives. It's also important to realize the team has locked away their tokens, and they're in this for the long haul. So at the moment, from 30 cents, I think it's reasonable to suggest that this newer coin could be looking towards $6 to $8. And I don't really like to do these speculative price predictions, but this one is definitely one I'm excited about. Now, if you're looking to pick up coins like AGI or Delesium and pretty much every other coin that we talk about, then make sure you go to the link down below for Bitunix, because every day they're listing all the coins that I'm asking them to list. And I'll ask them right now to list AGI, and within the next 48 hours, it will be on the platform available to trade. And also the other coins I talk about today will get listed in the next 24 to 48 hours as well. And the best thing about this exchange is it doesn't require KYC or know your customer, and you don't need a VPN to access this, which means you can access it from wherever you are in the world, and you can go on here and buy the coins that we're talking about on the channel every day. So if you're looking for an exchange with super low fees, then has pretty much every coin that you really want to be trading right now that doesn't require KYC or a VPN, which literally Bitunix is the only exchange out there, then make sure you hit the link down below. Use that code. That code is also going to be beneficial because you're going to be able to access giveaways from the Bitunix House of Crypto partnership in the future, as well as potential airdrops for new coins and things like that. Absolute no-brainer, link down below. Now, where to next? Obviously, I can't make a video without talking about DeepIn and the importance of this. I've just told you about AI and AI agents growing enormously fast, okay, the development behind it. But there's a big problem with AI and the development of AI agents. Most of the compute power and stuff is sucked up and taken away by the likes of Microsoft, Google, OpenAI, and a handful of others, which isn't fair on the overall system because it means that individual decentralized AI companies are finding it difficult to access compute power. But there is other solutions out there in the world of decentralized compute power provided by DeepIn projects. Now, we know that there's some big ones coming up in the future like Aether, IO.net, GPU.net, which I've talked about a lot of times on this channel, and they're there to support the AI scaling issue. And if I bring up this image, which I've been bringing up on pretty much every video over the last year or so, you will see that there's an incredible demand for AI compute power, and it's this scaling issue that means that DeepIn compute power projects that support AI will absolutely blow up. And that brings us across to Nosana, powering the AI revolution, the most cost-effective GPU grid, basically providing GPU power through a network of GPUs that can be utilized to support AI development and other things. Now, again, because of the growth of AI, DeepIn basically grows alongside it. So when AI is pumping, DeepIn will also pump. DeepIn can also be used to support other projects out there, such as gaming. And this is very key because DeepIn will get dragged along with those narratives. So why no Sana over others? Well, already they have a working product that's actually being consumer driven. That means the consumers are actually buying the product, which is weird in crypto. I know this is actually starting to generate revenue. And much like AGI, you can see that after recent moves, Nosana has reacted quite nicely. This is very key because I know lots of people will be like, oh, you should have bought it down here. I get it, guys. Obviously, we should have bought it down here. You should have bought Bitcoin in 2009, but you didn't, did you? So shut up, okay? Because I'm bored of hearing that same old story. We would have loved to have bought Nosana down here, but guess what? But we didn't, did we? Instead, we were making 40x plus on Pangolin, which absolutely pumped recently. We were making killer gains on Delisium and others, right? Doesn't matter. If we're late to the party, we can still access coins. If you've got a bit of spare cash left over, which I do, this is what I've kind of been buying into, right? Now, as you can see from this Nosana chart, there is a nice buy zone area down here. And you would probably have to admit to yourself that we're probably not going to get back down there, okay? And if you were subscribed to my channel, watching my videos over the last few weeks, and getting into buy zones on these coins, then well done, okay? You've been doing what I've been trying to get you to do, which is buy into the fear, while all the little brokies out there were panicking and dumping their coins, okay? So good for you. Now, Nosana has printed a chart pattern here, which even the most fresh-faced crypto trader out there will probably be able to recognize because it's a big old W pattern. Now, what happens when you get these W patterns is you see a top, a resistance. Remember, previous resistance flips into support, which means that after a breakout, you can see we have been finding support in this area. If Nosana has another pullback to around $4.25, which from current price would be a nice pullback of around 10, 11, 12%, then that means we have a nice buy zone area all the way up here. Okay, so if you missed that one down there, tough luck, because it's probably not going to get back down there. But we now have another buy zone area here for Nosana. And listen, okay, don't get too hung up on all the tech and excitement. Nosana does have good tech, it has good partnership with Render and others. It's got a big community that's growing all the time, and it's reacting strongly to a bullish Bitcoin. And if Bitcoin's going to be the first mover, we want to be in coins that are going to move quickly along with Bitcoin. And there we go. Nosana sitting there with a market cap of $430 million, which is bigger, I admit. But remember, we've got a big crypto summer followed by crypto fall. We want to be in the coins right now that could see shorter term pumps, okay? In the shorter term means that we could be able to see multiple X's on the money that we put into these coins. The beauty of that is that after those pumps is that we see a 4 or 5X on these right now. It suddenly creates, guess what, liquidity that we can then use to go and play in smaller cap degen plays that are higher speculation. We don't have to take risks when we've got more sure bets because we can take risks later on when the whole kind of degen space erupts. But if you take risks now, you could lose everything and then you're screwed because then you have no liquidity for the bull market. So $430 million, where do I think this is going? I think a 10x is almost a given. I think going beyond that is speculative based on the fact it's a larger market cap coin. But more importantly, I think that we're going to see some of those X's earlier on. Okay, so I make the quick gains in this, I take some profits, and then maybe I look into other things. At 20x, would take this to just under $9 billion, which is pretty big, but not unimaginable given where this bull market's heading. I do think there are key coins that are showing their hand right now that they are the ones that are going to move forward in this bull market, while a lot of the other ones kind of get forgotten and left for dust. Now, bearing in mind, we're following the narratives, we're following the coins that are getting the attention at the right points, at the right time. It's really quite straightforward. Wouldn't you agree? So, where next to look? What narratives moved recently? AI did. DeepIn did, yes. Meme coins have been moving a lot, I'm aware. Maybe, just maybe, at some point soon, I might make a meme coin video, although it breaks my heart to do this. But anyway, the actual answer I'm looking for is real-world assets, or RWA. And it's because of this. Tokenized real-world assets could grow to $10 trillion market by 2030 as crypto converges to traditional finance. And if you go to Twitter, to Electric Capital, and read this report from Avichal, or Avishal, maybe, talking about the US Senate that's just voted 60-38 to overturn the SAB 121, which I'm aware sounds really very complex, and you'll start to see how political tides are shifting, and very, very soon you could see the big banks and everyone starting to have to get involved in crypto. And that's because while they don't like crypto, they're self-interested, they want to make money, and screwing crypto could become counterintuitive for them, and they're going to have to push towards making money. Also, the fact that BlackRock jumped on board with tokenizing crypto, it's a bit of a no-brainer. And that brings us, of course, to Ono Finance. Now, I know lots of other YouTubers have been talking about Ono Finance over the last few months, and yes, it saw a very nice pump towards the upside, and has since had a bit of a pullback. And it's because of that bit of pullback and what we're kind of seeing on the chart right now, I wanted to give Ono Finance some attention. And yes, again, it would have been nicer to be getting in down there. But actually, we haven't seen that much crazy growth from Ono Finance. It's still pretty early on for this project that is definitely going to see much more attention as the kind of rules and regulations shift. BlackRock gets more involved in making news articles about tokenization and all that good stuff. And the fact we just broken beyond this chart pattern here, you could see a next leg up coming for Ono Finance actually very quickly. And there are lots of kind of other cryptos that fit into this niche, but Ono has already got stakes within BlackRock's tokenized fund, which is very, very handy. Building the next generation of financial infrastructure to improve market efficiency, transparency, and accessibility. Basically, tokenizing traditional finance assets to allow people like yourself to go and be able to invest in various different things. It all makes for a much smoother global ecosystem for people to invest in. Much more transparency leads to better security and safety, and then more opportunities for a level playing field where you can earn decent yields by staking US dollars and other things like that. It's backed by pretty much the biggest names in crypto, Coinbase, Pantera, partner with BlackRock, etc. Okay, really can't go too far wrong with projects like this. And in the same way, along with like AI and things like that, where you're betting on actual consumers using the product, as in a project that's actually making money, we're betting here on the fact that the tokenized market is around $10 trillion, which is absolutely ludicrous amounts of money. And if just a portion of that gets put through things like Ono Finance, you're going to see absolutely mind-bending growth. Now, one of the other benefits of a platform like this is it can basically break up entire assets into portions of assets, which means the average person out there has the ability to go and be able to own a part share of something, perhaps in terms of real estate, hotels, etc., but also in terms of other assets out there, like stocks and shares can be broken up into sub-portions. For example, you don't have to own a whole Bitcoin. You could own 0.1 of a Bitcoin rather than having to spend 60k. You could also break up different shares. So instead of having to own an entire Apple stock for thousands of dollars or whatever, you could own a portion of that Apple stock and share the ownership with other people out there who don't want to own the whole thing. This would increase the overall liquidity in the markets and make for much more fluid trading. And basically also protects people against the crazy inflation that's going on. Because if you just got a bunch of USD sat in your bank right now or other currencies around the world, you're literally losing spending power. So with your $100 right now, you might be able to buy 100 $1 chocolate bars. In a year's time, you can probably only buy 95 of those chocolate bars because they're going to go up to around $1.05 in price. I'm not sure that math is correct, but this protects you against it, okay? So as people start to get smarter and figure out that they're getting screwed by the system, they're going to look for ways like this to look after their capital. And coming across to CoinMarketCap, we can see as well, Ono Finance sits at $1.2 billion. And I know all the degens are sitting there being like, oh, these market cap coins are big, too big. I've been following this YouTuber walking around a woodblock and he keeps telling me that I should be buying this coin that's got like a $3 market cap because it's going to go to the moon. Guys, a lot of those coins, yeah, it's easy to kind of like just bang some crazy multiple and be like, oh, it's easy to get there. A lot of those coins are likely going to go to zero or not go anywhere, okay? The bigger coins backed by big VCs are going to get blown up in this bull market. I showed you this post from Alex Wasey the other day, talking about how VCs literally drive the biggest growth phase in the market. And that biggest growth phase is literally about to happen right now because the big VCs have been just preparing Ono Finance and other coins that are sat in this big pullback after kind of a big initial launch to literally go pumping. And it's going to happen sooner rather than later. So don't be too concerned about these $1.2 billion market cap, because projects like this in the right niche, in an industry worth $10 trillion plus, have the potential to go 20x, maybe even 50x if things go absolutely crazy. So don't get deterred by things like this, okay? These, in my opinion, are some of the strongest, safest gains. Now, of course, I do have a degenerate side, and I have found some kind of newer plays within these types of ecosystems that I think could be some of the biggest out there. And luckily for you, if you're subscribed, I'm going to bring them up next week in a video that I make. So make sure you hit the subscribe button, make sure you turn on that notification bell, hit the like button, because that would be a nice thing to do, wouldn't it? And I'll see you after the weekend. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.